What does it truly mean to have a psychologically safe workplace? And why do so many organizations struggle to create psychological safety in their environments? According to research released last fall by Wiley, only 53% of individual contributors and 55% of supervisors say they feel safe taking risks in their organizations. Risk-taking is a required component of creativity, problem-solving, and innovation. A low threshold for risk can be concerning depending on the requirements of the job or the industry one is in. In this episode of Women Taking the Lead, we delve into the concept of psychological safety, its profound impact on team performance, the essential behaviors for creating psychological safety, and strategies to overcome challenges. If you are new to the Women Taking the Lead podcast, hello and welcome. I'm Jody Flynn. I'm the CEO and founder of Women Taking the Lead. It's a leadership development company that helps organizations achieve their gender parity goals at all levels of leadership and in all divisions of the organization. We help to realize these results through consulting, coaching, leadership development programs, and keynotes. My goal is for this podcast to be a valuable resource for you and others in your organization of all genders to grow in your leadership. If we are not already connected on LinkedIn, please send me an invitation to connect. You can find me directly at linkedin.com/IN/Jody Flynn, or you can search on the platform for Jody Flynn. I am very active on LinkedIn, so I should be at or near the top of your search results. Be sure to add a note to the invitation letting me know you're a listener of the podcast, because I would love to connect with you and get to know you better. The term psychological safety was coined by Harvard Business School professor Amy Edmondson in 1999. Psychological safety goes beyond physical safety. It's about creating an environment where team members feel comfortable being themselves, expressing their thoughts and ideas, taking risks, and making mistakes without fear of judgment or reprisal. I want to put an emphasis on team here because psychological safety is not about one person feeling open to express their ideas and the space to make mistakes. It's about creating the environment for everyone on the team and in the organization to feel this way. And before the word feel makes anyone think this is a fluffy, nice to have quality in an organization, it is actually a critical quality that impacts overall organizational performance. Let's also point out what psychological safety is not. It's not about being comfortable all of the time. To grow, our team members need to have opportunities to stretch themselves, to adapt their preferences to others, and to live with some unpredictability. But in that discomfort, there is a certainty that they are supported, appreciated, and respected. They have the space to grow and learn and adapt. Psychological safety has a significant impact on team performance. The sense of safety allows for open and honest communication, which is essential for team cohesion and performance. When team members feel safe speaking up and sharing their perspectives, it fosters creativity, innovation, and problem solving. Teams with high psychological safety are more likely to experiment, collaborate effectively, engage in healthy conflict, which leads to better decision-making. They are also more likely to learn from both successes and failures, and this leads to improved outcomes, resiliency, and adaptability. Lastly, according to the Harvard Business Review, research has shown the incredible downsides of not having psychological safety, including negative impacts on employee well-being, including stress, burnout, and turnover, as well as impacts on the overall performance of the organization. Do you have a challenge to share and would be willing to share with others? There's so much that can be gained by listening to what another woman is going through and to understanding the strategy that she will implement to overcome the challenge. I've seen this in the group that is currently going through the Positive Intelligence program. One woman shares a particular struggle she's having, and at least 2 others, if not all of the other women in the group, acknowledge they have had or currently have the same challenge. It's validating for all and beneficial to talk about the approaches that have been tried and which help the situation. For this reason, I would love to do more on-air coaching calls on this podcast. If you're a woman leader who's been promoted or taken on a new role in the last year, I invite you to apply to be on the Women Taking the Lead podcast. You will be completely anonymous, so you won't need to worry about anyone you work with listening to you talk about your challenges. You will gain insights and strategies to overcome any challenges you've been faced with at work, and the other women listening to your episode will learn from your experience and gain insights that they can use at work. You can find the link that will take you to the application in the episode description in your podcast app, or if you're listening on the Women Taking the Lead website, it will be at the bottom of the episode page. If you've been considering, I say do it. Submit the application, you and I can chat. At the very least, you will have explored the opportunity. I think at this point, if you are not already familiar with psychological safety, even if you are, I'm on board, great. However, how do we do this? Because despite all the benefits of psychological safety, it is not a given. And a McKinsey global survey conducted during the pandemic indicated that the behaviors that create a psychologically safe environment are few and far between in leadership teams and organizations more broadly. And yet, leaders play a vital role in creating and maintaining psychological safety within their teams. Organizations can infuse psychological safety in their cultures by training leaders to do the following. First, have clear norms, expectations, and accountability. This mitigates subjective evaluations, unfair favoritism, and chaos in the work environment. It's important for teams to have a sense of fairness and predictability. Co-create with your team members what success looks like and help them get there. Second, encourage open communication, creating channels for team members to voice their opinions, their ideas, and their concerns freely. Listen actively, paying attention to what team members say and demonstrating empathy and understanding. Fourth, value diverse perspectives and explaining why it matters. Recognize and appreciate the different backgrounds, experiences, and viewpoints that team members bring to the table. Also, to overcome a natural instinct that people have to stay safe by being silent, explain why it's so important to have everyone's perspective and how it will impact the outcome of the work the team does together. And fifth, provide both constructive and positive feedback. In fact, try to have a 3-to-1 ratio, 3 positive pieces of feedback to 1 constructive. Offer feedback in a respectful and supportive manner, focusing on areas for improvement while also acknowledging strengths. And rather than asking, what went wrong, ask, what did you learn, right? Think more curiously, positively, and future focused. What did they learn from this mistake that they can take with them going forward? Also, celebrate calculated risk-taking and demonstrate it yourself. highlight the benefits of learning from mistakes, and build in a lessons learned debriefing session into every project. The last recommendation I'll give, although this is not an exhaustive list, is modeling vulnerability. Show vulnerability as a leader by admitting mistakes, seeking input from others, and being open to feedback and change. Now, this training I'm recommending, the training on having clear norms, encouraging open communication, listening actively, valuing diverse perspectives, providing both constructive and positive feedback, and modeling vulnerability, it must be experiential, have an emotional impact, and allow for reflection and immediate application in the leader's day-to-day work. And this training cannot be a one and done. I think we've learned that enough over time that rarely do one and done workshops make any impact or cause any change. And most important, the training needs to start with the leaders at the very top of the organization and then trickle down. If senior leaders are not actively modeling and fostering psychological safety, the culture won't change, no matter how much time, money, and other resources you throw at it. Leaders at the top must come first, and it must then trickle down. Too often, I see training starting at the middle management level or the front-end supervisor level. And oftentimes in those trainings, all you hear is these leaders, because they are important leaders, but they're often saying, you know who needs to be in this training? My boss or my boss's boss, because they are not doing what you're training, right? So it's so important to start from the top, because it's the top leadership of an organization that people look to in terms of what parts of our culture are important and what parts of our culture are merely words that we have up on a wall or on a piece of paper or on a web page. Now, leaders may encounter challenges in establishing psychological safety, especially in environments with a history of competitiveness or where stereotypes and biases exist. To address these challenges, I have 3 recommendations. 1, promote inclusivity. Create a culture that values diversity and inclusion where everyone feels valued and respected. 2, address biases and stereotypes. Don't let them go unaddressed. Challenge and mitigate biases and stereotypes that may affect team dynamics and individual confidence. So you want to, when you're addressing these things, rather than, if you haven't heard the common lingo now, rather than calling somebody out, right, putting them on the spot, or I see you behaving badly and we're going to talk about it, call them in, get curious, feel empathy, understand what's going on with the person who has been in their words or behavior displaying a bias or a stereotype. Everybody on your team and in your organization is an individual and is an individual who deserves to be appreciated and respected. And then the third is to advocate for work-life balance. Support policies and practices that promote a work-life balance, well-being, and mental health, because these factors contribute to a sense of safety and trust. If you want people to believe that they are respected and appreciated, there needs to be a sense that their whole personhood is respected and appreciated, not just the parts of them that can contribute to the overall success of the organization. So it's really important to keep that top of mind with your team members, that you're encouraging them to have work-life balance. And for everyone, that looks a little bit different. So that's a conversation to be had with each of your team members. All right. So now's the question, is your workplace psychologically safe? You've probably already have been getting a sense of whether or not some of these things that I've been talking about are present in your organization, but there's also a simple 7-item questionnaire that was designed by Amy Edmondson to assess the perception of psychological safety. I want you to consider how you would answer the following questions, and there's 7 of them. 1, if you made a mistake on this team, will it be held against you? 2, are the members of this team able to bring up problems and tough issues? Do members on this team sometimes reject other members for being different? 4, is it safe to take a risk on this team? 5, is it difficult to ask other members of this team for help? 6, would anyone on the team deliberately act in a way that undermines efforts? 7, working with members of this team, are unique skills and talents valued and utilized? Building and maintaining psychological safety is an ongoing process. You want to regularly assess your team's dynamics, gather feedback from team members, and take proactive steps to address any issues or concerns that may arise. And this includes fostering a culture of transparency, trust, and accountability, where everyone feels empowered to contribute and grow. And I know personally from experience and from talking with my clients, this can be really difficult, especially in fast-paced environments, where we have a lot going on. There's a lot of important things at stake. But what I have also seen in my experience is if we are not working in an environment of psychological safety, we will pay the consequences of that. We will not get the outcomes that we are looking for. And even if we are successful, chances are team morale will be low. So even if you're busy, even if the stakes are high, it's important to be putting in the time and the thought and the effort to ensuring that we're moving towards a team that has psychological safety. Thank you so much for listening to the Women Taking the Lead podcast. I have 3 small favors to ask. If you are not yet subscribed to the podcast, hit the follow or subscribe button so you don't miss out on the upcoming episodes. Do you know anyone else who could benefit from this episode? Please share it with them. And if you're looking for leadership development opportunities for yourself, your team, or your organization, reach out to me. We can customize a program that meets your specific needs. You can reach me at Jodi, Jodi, at womentakingthelead.com. As always, I hope this was of value to you, and here's to your success.